Hi guys, welcome to Witch's Review Corner. I'm Whipwitch, and today I have a review for Venba. I played this on Xbox, but this is also available on Steam and other consoles. This review does also contain some slight spoilers. Playing games may be my main hobby and pastime, but I do have other things that I like to do. One of those is cooking. I love cooking recipes I know I like and finding recipes to try something new, or even try copycat recipes to make better versions of fast food. Some recipes are a lot of work or take a long time, or both, but eating some delicious food and seeing others enjoy my food makes it all worth it. Well, the main drawback is having to wash all those dishes. Anyway, the point is that my love for cooking also extends to cooking within games. After all, no dishes to clean. So when I heard about Venba around 2 years ago, I was instantly interested. In Venba, we get a brief glimpse into the life of an Indian family that immigrated to Canada. At first, it's just a young couple that seem to be quite new to Canada. There's Venba, who shares her name with the game's name, and her husband, Pavalan. When we first join them, Venba has been feeling unwell for a couple days. Pavalan is worried and convinces her to go to the doctor, but not before showing how helpless he is in making a simple dish, idli, for his lunch. Heck, he doesn't even have to make a batter, he just has to pour it into the molds and let it cook. Venba and Pavalan was actually thinking about moving back to India as life in Canada hasn't been going the way they thought. However, something, or should I say someone, came to throw a little wrench in their decision. Venba got pregnant, and now they have to think what is best for the future child. They, as you can probably guess, decided to stay, and from here we see the struggles they ended up having. We see them struggle with trying to adapt, being passed up for jobs they want and have experiencing when they were in India, and the struggle of the son, Kevin, slowly growing more and more distant. Kevin not only grows distant from his parents, but also grows distant and rejects his culture. It's really heartbreaking how Venba tries to connect with Kevin and show him Tamil culture only for Kevin to push her away. There are some dialogue choices that pop up every so often, though most of them don't matter much. There's only one sequence that does, which will determine what you'll learn about a part of Venba and Pavalan's past. Between the story segments, there are cooking segments, which I'm sure a lot of people are going into this game for. I know it was mostly what I did. It's actually pretty easy, as you just need to click and drag the ingredients into whatever cookware the recipe calls for. You also get to do some other actions that help in the process of cooking these dishes, like turning up/down the heat, flipping the food, and putting on the pot's lid. However, there is a bit of a snag here. You can't just toss everything in and expect it to turn out perfect like in cartoons. You have to do things in the right order. Venba not only brought along a lot of kitchen equipment, but a cookbook her mother put together for her, so she can still feel like she has a part of her mother with her all the way in Canada. Except, well, Venba did not take good care of the cookbook, and now a lot of the pages have smudges and rips. I just have to wonder how it got this bad. Luckily, most of the recipes are salvageable, and most of the steps are still readable. You just have to figure out the rest either by trial and error, or by the clues given to you. I really like this puzzly approach to cooking. The game does also remix this as we get cooking segments based on trying to remember how a recipe is made and trying to read a recipe in a language you're a bit rusty in. These cooking segments are pretty easy to figure out, and I only had trouble with one of the recipes. Nonetheless, there is a hint system just in case you get stuck. In addition, there is also flavor text for most of the food, with some having multiple flavor text. It depends on the dish, but the flavor text gives some more information on the dish being prepared, some insight on what's happening currently in the community, insights in their own thoughts, or even reminiscing on the past. I loved Venba's cooking segments, and I didn't mind how simple they were. After all, I played and loved Cookie Mama to death. And even though I do wish we got more of Restoring Venba's cookbook, I do think the game had a perfect amount of dishes for us to cook. Though there is one chapter in the latter half where Venba is making a lot of dishes, but you just have to do all the actions and none of the figuring out. I like what this shows us, as it shows how she knows these recipes by heart and her love language is cooking, but we lose the puzzly aspect of restoring the cookbook here. Also, this game really makes me want to make dishes that were showcased. They look so good, both in-game and IRL, and seem like they would taste so good. The majority of recipes do require specialized equipment, like a pressure cooker, though, but I'm certainly going to look into how to make the few that I can do. I was thinking of maybe following the game and then using online recipes to fill in any holes or gaps. Venba is a short game which works both for and against the game. I wouldn't want this to be stretched out and good pacing to go out the window, but at the same time, there are some parts of the story that could have been elevated if we got more story in between the larger time skips. I do actually think the first half of the game is paced well. The time skips weren't too large, and you can pick up on things that happen in between that go unsaid. It's just, when you get into the latter half, it feels like the time skips were just too big and you're rushing to figure out where everyone is at in their lives. I felt like we could have gotten a couple more scenes, so we could have some more insight on Carvin, see him change rather than having to assume it, and help the ending feel more powerful and meaningful. Before I close this review out, I do want to give out a couple miscellaneous compliments really quick. I like the Tamil music that was chosen for the cooking segments. I love the art style and how colorful everything is. I love how the food looks, and the sound of the food sizzling and steaming as it cooks. I'm glad I ate before I started playing, as this would have made me hungry. I also like the subtle details, like how you can tell how shaky Venba's English is by how some of the English dialogue boxes look and how different Venba and Carvin cook. I also really like the scene where Venba is remembering cooking with her own mom before she left India, and how it subtly parallels to what's happened with her and her son. And now it's time to cook up a verdict. Venba is a sweet but short game that will just have you wanting more once you reach the end. The story here is interesting. I like learning about Tamil culture and food, and I really like the colorful art style and cooking segments. I just mainly wish that this game was a tad longer so we didn't get big time skips and so the ending wouldn't have felt a bit lacking. However, despite liking Venba, I don't know if I would recommend it for $15. I would be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed when I heard it was a 1 to 2 hour game, especially since I've been looking forward to it for 2 years. I still think the game is lovely, but it's probably best to get it while it's discounted or play it through Game Pass. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my review for Venba. If you liked my review, you can check out more on my website, witcherreviewcorner.com, and subscribe if you want to see more of my future content. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later. Bye!